Hi, Laura Antal here. I have tried posting this video like 6 times. And I just keep thinking about how much I worked in my life to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve with my life. I wanted to be a working actor. I wanted to be a poet. I wanted to be a thinker. I had these worlds in my head I wanted to create. And instead, I now live in a country where being intellectual doesn't matter. There are companies trying to replace intellectualism with AI and computers so that some program thinks for you instead of you thinking for yourself. I grew up with parents who were, my mother was a nurse, my father was a government agent. My father got a college education. My mother got high school, I believe, went to nursing school. So that's about as far as her education went. She couldn't help me with my homework. Neither one of my parents really could. And I'm kind of tired because I am more educated than both my parents, came out to California, was working on sets full time, happy, was training to do digital media, training to do other things in the industry. And there are people who knew that, like Arnie Starr. Arnie Starr knew I was training at Santa Monica College to get a digital. I have a digital media certificate now that's worthless as far as I'm concerned. I can edit stuff if I want to, but I don't have the equipment or the money because now with everything in technology, I can't afford an Adobe subscription. I have an old program that I can edit with now that I do edit with, but it's like got to the point where unless you have money, you can't do those things. And it's kind of sad now because it's like now it's harder, I think, for someone to break into the industry in some respects, even though we now have smartphones that people can actually make movies with. It's just interesting to me that, I mean, today they announced the economy shrunk. And one of the main reasons I think it has shrunk is because intellectual property used to be one of the most important exports of America. Ideas. And if the ideas are being polluted with ideas that the rest of the world doesn't want, because we're trying to spread hatred and division, because we've got, you know, as someone in England once said about Americans, we're too religious, which was kind of shocking to me. I'm not wearing any makeup now, right now, by the way. There's dark circles in my eyes because I have an autoimmune disease and a yeast allergy and I'm underweight. I'm basically the same age as, I'm actually a little younger than Ellen Pompeo from Grey's Anatomy. And yet I show up to a set to be told I'm on a list by Disney. I got attacked by someone who said that actors don't need a college education when Patrick Dempsey, Eric Dane on Grey's Anatomy don't have a college education. I got a college education. I got a certificate from ADA that cost me $2,000, and I joined SAG-AFTRA apparently for nothing because I guess I was supposed to be discovered by looking pretty in a bar somewhere while working as a waitress. I was $100,000 in debt from law school, so I had debts I had to pay. But, and I also had script ideas, which I keep getting calls from people saying that they have script ideas for Shonda Rhimes. I'm not listening to their ideas. I'm not talking to them about ideas. I had ideas of my own. But I feel like it's some sort of fraudulent activity as though they're I don't know. Like someone said that they were given my phone number to call when they were given an email from Shonda Rhimes saying that Shonda Rhimes was interested in making a movie for them. I'm thinking, why didn't you respond to the email? Why are you calling me? Unless if the actual email had my phone number in it. So they're trying to make it look like I'm pretending to be Shonda Rhimes. I'm sorry, but that's not me. I don't do stuff like that. I didn't get Phi Beta Kappa and graduate an honor student. I had some person, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, tell all my followers on TikTok, the few that I have, that I wasn't trustworthy. I'm thinking, I am more than trustworthy. I'm the kind of person who wouldn't steal from you, wouldn't take anything from you. I'm not a bad person at all. And I am so very tired of this whole snowboarding thing. I trained as an actor, therefore I must be deceptive and dishonest. I was the most, I didn't smoke, didn't do drugs. I was the goody two-shoe girl, or as one of my friends in college said, I was the virgin of the theater, and this other girl was the opposite of that. And that girl actually hit on my boyfriend in front of me, the guy I was dating at the time, and I think ended up getting him. Though I think I might have had the last word on that one because he tried to get back together with me later, and I said no to him. I don't play I don't cheat. I'm against cheating. But anyways, I don't cheat. I don't like liars. I hate liars. You lie to me, you're out of my life. And I am not looking to go to church on Sunday because I'm not religious. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to be on Trump's little list of, I guess, people to deport because I don't read the Bible. I think there are better books out there to read. I said it. I did. There are much better books out there to read. And that's the problem. If all we're going to be exporting is stories from the Bible, then you bet our economy is going to shrink. You bet our economy is going to wither. That's just it. People don't realize this. You get angry at Hollywood because of like the wealthy people in Hollywood. You think living in California, newsflash. There are people in California who are incredibly wealthy who have nothing to do whatsoever with the entertainment industry. And there are people in Hollywood who are wealthy who you don't know. You don't know their names because they've been making money in the entertainment industry by being people behind the camera and behind the scenes. The studio execs, the studio heads, the ones who are actually manipulating the situation and driving the money and driving the ones who are going to be hiring AI people now instead of hiring actual actors. I am burned out. I'm the kind of person who, because I'm Phi Beta Kappa and I absolutely posit, and I'm a First Amendment advocate, absolutely kind of needed a career where my voice mattered. Not because I want people to worship me, because I want people to be I want you to be as smart as I am. I want you to wake up and open your eyes and want to read a good book and want to expand your mind and want to become a better person. I don't want you following in the footsteps of the current administration that is shrinking the economy, shrinking the intellect of this country, destroying, in essence, everything that's really great about America. If our economy is shrinking, it is because the ideas that we are generating is shrinking. It is not going to get better by replacing people with AI. It is not going to be better if we don't actually improve the education system in this country. It is not going to get better if you silence people who need to be heard. And it's not going to be better if we have famous celebrities who want to insinuate that I wasn't working hard because I walked behind your butt on a set. Or for that matter, someone who was attacking me saying actors make a living, do other things because I refuse to do, I refuse to do catering jobs and stuff like that. I had bad knees. I was underweight. I was losing weight back in 2007. I don't work as a waitress. I have never worked as a waitress. That doesn't mean I'm not an actor. You know, ironically, I think that Ellen Pompeo was discovered, which I just recently found out, but by working as a waitress or a bartender somewhere and someone saw her. And she was originally got her first gig because of how she looked, just like Patrick Dempsey and Eric Dane. Well, I'm sorry. I got my first gigs on set because I'm smart and because I'm trained as an actor. I worked with Will Wallace, who I don't like, by the way. Don't like him at all. Don't like his politics. Don't like his position. Don't like the fact that he worked on a pro-life film. I am pro-choice. And I was in class with him. He's a bit of a narcissist, but I am good at acting. I was. I still possibly could be. And I am so tired of the fact that people have been playing games with me. I would rather be an actor than be a teacher. I'm not meant to be a teacher. I'm created a Substack, but I've only had one person offer to pay me for anything. And I don't think I will. I'm not sure if this person who wanted to pay me, I'm going to give them the content they want because I have no intention of becoming a history buff or a person who projects politics because I left DC to get away from that because I don't want to turn into my father. I can't stand my dad. I can't stand, I'm not a politician. I was a political science major for one semester in high school and college. And then I became a business economics major. And if I could do my life over again, I would have studied either English and psychology and theater or communications and theater. I would have stayed away from the business economics department altogether. Though I did appreciate Dr. Law. He was like a surrogate father to me and even wrote a letter of recommendation in which he basically said I was good at everything, including art. He said that, actually. He said art. He didn't say theater. He said good at art because he knew that my interest in theater was not just theater. I was a photographer. I wrote poetry. And most of my friends who I hung out with I've hung out with a lot of the artists on the campus, in addition to hanging out with the actors, because a lot of times the actors and the artists were the same people. So there's that. And I mean, I just saw a video from an actor on here who talked about working hard and making videos all the time and putting yourself out there all the time. And I have been trying to work hard by doing that. And every single time I get attacked and trolled and abused, and you don't seem to understand the fact that you're affecting my business and affecting my ability to be working, and affecting the fact that I need to be able to find ways of being able to make money when I'm sick at home. And you're not caring if you're slamming me, and you're not caring if you're abusing me because you think I don't have any problems too. And you're not understanding the fact that you're causing me problems just because you're taking it out on me, whatever's bad is going on in your life. I have been trolled over and over again, and I'm sick of it. I want to be able to feel good about myself and to be able to put myself out there, not because I want you to worship me, but because I want to do something positive with the knowledge I have in my head and the gifts that I was given. And I don't believe in your God anymore. God, as far as I'm concerned, if it existed, left the building as soon as I was told I was on a list by Disney and couldn't work on sets anymore, when I didn't do anything wrong. I would never give Shonda Rhimes one of my scripts because I keep getting calls from people wanting to give her ideas and acting like they're going to trust her. I'm thinking, well, I don't trust her, because I tried to get legal help from her because of what Patrick Dempsey and Eric Dane did to me in 2008. And the statute of limitation is run when Nicole Nakagawa with SAG-AFTRA has not told me I can back to the building, like I'm banned for life, which is basically the equivalency of ending my life. I still haven't heard from her, even though I left that phone call. And if someone who worked with me on set who's a MAGA is listening to this and watching this, I don't want to hang out with real people. I don't want to hang out with lawyers. I don't want to hang out with doctors. I don't want to hang out with people who are not into the same things I'm into. I am not interested in fighting and arguing. I hated law school. I absolutely, positively hated law school. Hated it. I went through the motions, passed the bar, but in the end, the reason our system is falling apart is because of the legal system, because of the lawyers. It costs so much to go to law school that people, when they come out of law school, can't afford to buy a house, can't afford to do anything but push to make money. And because they do that, people end up being screwed. They end up being denied justice because lawyers are so more concerned with being able to pay their student loans and pay bills. And so they can't afford to do anything to help other people. And I'm glad that there are colleges in this country who are standing up to the current administration, because if we don't have people who are educated, it's only going to get worse. Wake up, America. Go to the library, read some books. Pick up a newspaper. Read the printed words on the page. And keep your mind open and start training yourself to discern the difference between fact and fiction. And I'm one for fiction. I love a good fantasy novel. I love escapism. I'm an actor. I like pretending to be other people. But when I'm trying to work really hard and I've got people trying to tell me that I can't do it, attacking me, telling me they don't want to see my videos anymore, they don't want to hear from me anymore, they don't want to hear my opinions, you're destroying people's lives and businesses by doing that, because you're making the presumption, because I'm putting myself out here, that I want you to worship me. I could care less. I just don't want you to attack me. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything, maybe. But then, unfortunately, the world is a nightmare right now. Compliments of the current administration in America. Compliments of the dictators in the world. Putin. And I kind of want to say China, but for some reason I feel like China actually isn't as bad as people think it is. I'm not sure anymore. because it was a billionaire from China that created TikTok. And I think the Chinese government wants to hold on to it because of the financial restitution of that. But I honestly don't think that they really wanted our data for anything. If anything, I think that there's been proof out there that Meta was doing something with China, because the reality is Hollywood wanted deals with China because that's a big market with lots of money. Our xenophobia. I mean, we're responsible for the drug problems in Latin America. We're responsible for the gun problems in Latin America. We should be doing stuff in this country to curb the drug problems so nobody wants drugs in this country anymore. Allow people to be happy. Stop trying to put people in boxes they don't fit in. The less we educate, the less we use our brains, the less intellectual property that's out there, the smaller our economy is going to shrink. And the worse it's going to get for all of us, I think. Oh, yeah. And an article today that appeared in news about how there might be some big disaster off the West Coast. How much worse is that going to get if we start fracking? How much worse is that going to get if we start drilling in Alaska? Think, people. Think about consequences. Of course, the consequences of me posting this might be that I'm on a list now to be deported, even though my family dates back in America to the 1600s. Been here a little too long. I know exactly where you're going to deport me to, because I am 60% Western European, British, 20%, 19, 20% German. And then the rest of it is a mixture of like Africa and the UK. You're going to deport me to the UK? Canada? And will they let me come? You know, it's like, I do not like the current president of the United States. I'm openly saying that. I eventually predict that I will probably be homeless on the streets of California because I wanted to be an actor, and I still want to be an actor. But SAG-AFTRA blacklisted me so long ago for doing nothing other than standing up to a guy who raped me. And by the way, the people who were running the union at the time that happened, Ned Vaughn, Ken Howard, I think, what was that? Oh, yes, Ken Howard, that was his name. We're both GOP Republicans. Go figure. And yet this guy in Montana, whose name I'm trying to avoid even speaking, who has been calling the police here in California as my friend, and Michael Laverne, who is a government agent, who for some reason, the guy in Montana wants everyone to think that my father knew this guy. I think that Michael Laverne went around telling people he knew my father. When he knew who my father was. He did. But also said that he knew my father, and that he was saying stuff about me that he knew from my father that was probably outdated, because like I cut my parents out of my life when I was 18 years old. Okay? They didn't meet any of my boyfriends after the age of 18, or any guys I was interested in after the age of 18. When I moved to California in 2002, my parents still thought I had a crush on the guy I had a crush on in high school. That's how out of touch they were with my life, when I had already lost my virginity and had like about 2 or 3 boyfriends, or 4, I don't know. I'd have to count. And I don't feel like giving the number anyways. I have less experience than people expect at my age, but a little bit more than my parents knew about. Let's put it that way. And I was in a relationship with the same guy for 4 years, and my parents didn't find out about it till after the 3rd year. So it's like, yeah, really reliable source there, Michael Laverne, who's no longer with us. Apparently he passed away. Though his LinkedIn account is still up for some reason. It is. I stumbled across it the other day. It shows that he was a customs agent, or like a customs chief, like my father, chief investigator here in California, the way my dad was in Arizona and back on the East Coast. I am not a citizen of Arizona. I'm not from Arizona. I'm originally from Maryland. And I want justice. I want justice. And I don't know what the one person who wanted to pay me for a subscription. I have not set this up to be paid yet because I don't know if I can live up to your expectations. I just know that I am so tired of feeling like, as an intelligent person, I'm going to be attacked. As an intelligent person who has ideas, someone's going to say, I mean, it's like, I see people, it's the kind of people who are attacking me, I would assume would be the kind of people who would think it's okay. How to put it this way. RFK, the guy that our current head of health, anti-vaxxer, Mr. Anti-vaxxer, Kennedy guy, I feel like I'm being attacked like I'm him. The only problem is I know how crazy he is and how stupid he is. Vaccines, I'm vaccinated. My only problem is I actually need to go to a doctor to get an insurance approval to get vaccines. And I'm having trouble finding a doctor who will also give me the medication I need, low-dose dextrose, because I don't have a lot of money to pay for doctor after doctor. I just want to be able to go to one doctor who can do everything for me instead of this. You got to go to this doctor and this doctor and this doctor. And then every time I go to a doctor, it's going to cost me $150. Next thing I know, I owe $1,000 in medical bills that I don't have. And meanwhile, I'm having a hard enough time just being able to feed myself because I'm on a strict diet because of my yeast allergy. So there's that too. I don't know what you guys want from me. I just know that I would like to be able to express myself because I'm an actor and I feel like I need to. There's a part of me that needs to know that I was here, that I mattered, that I existed. It's not about, and as far as like thinking I'm special or important, I'm Phi Beta Kappa and Mensa. There better be something I'm supposed to be doing with my life with those credentials instead of being told, oh, no, we got to make you look stupid. We got to make you look silly. We got to call you a narcissist if you put yourself out there and express an opinion because you can't be smarter than us. And meanwhile, I'm like I'm Phi Beta Kappa and Mensa. I am smarter than 2%. I am smarter than, I'd say, 80% of the population. Just because of my IQ is that high. Having a high IQ, though, does not necessarily mean you know everything. Because you could have a high IQ and no experience with life. So on the one hand, you're really smart. On the other hand, you're like, I'm an idiot. You can be both. It is very possible, from my own personal experience, to know that you can be both. I just want to be able to express myself and to share things and to be able to help other people. But I am not going to be able to do that if you shove me into a job where I feel like the only thing I'm doing is, oh, great, I'm stamping little things and just doing the same thing every day. Or you're going to make me be a teacher where I'm dealing with the same subject all the time and I'm bored out of my mind. And I don't feel like I'm really helping anything because all I'm doing is I'm watching these people, these young people have the rest of their lives to live their dreams. But my dream was to be a working actor. And if that dream is over, it doesn't matter how much money I make. It doesn't matter how much I work or what I do. You can tell me this job has a purpose, but for me, it feels like I've lost my calling. I want to work to be an actor. I want to work to create. And instead, I feel like you're not allowed to, Laura, because you weren't born into the right family and you're not famous and you don't matter. And that's the way I feel like America is right now. So if I'm a narcissist because I want to be a working actor and I don't care about being famous, I just want to be able to work as an actor without you guys saying, well, you're a narcissist because you want to be an actor. I'm like, I just want to curl into my bed then and not do anything. Because if I'm not allowed to work to be an actor, what am I doing? You know, I mean, I'm watching these videos from this one actor who's talking about working hard and doing this and that. I'm thinking, I worked my butt off only to have actors in the industry be mad at me because I wasn't working as a waitress. And basically, I've had suicide ideation for 15 years because of this. So it kind of makes me angry. For some reason, this guy posting these videos like this without understanding the fact that define work to me. because I got 3 degrees by the time I was 30, only to find out that that didn't matter as far as acting was concerned, because the people in the industry who didn't get the education hate me for it. Hate me for it. But then I had a bunch of actors in 2023 pay me $1,000 in tips. And I wanted that job. I wanted to keep building it. I'm not auditioning to get cast, though, because unless I know the people I'm working for understand the fact that I get sick, I can't just work for anybody, because if they're not going to provide for me the food that I need to eat so that I don't get sick, I can't work for them. And no one seems to understand that. I'm not auditioning because I need to know that I'm going to be safe when I walk on a set. And I need to know that I'm going to be protected when I walk on a set. But my union isn't doing that. They just made me feel like I'm not good enough. And they made me feel like I don't have a future. And they made me feel like I'm some sort of monster when I didn't hurt anybody. And I hate Nicole Nakagawa and Crabtree Island for doing that to me. I will never forget Crabtree Island laughing at me while the police put me into an institution for saying I'm a lawyer when I really went to law school. My hatred is genuine. I have never attacked either one of them. And I even walked the picket line once with Crabtree Island, and I so wanted to walk up to him and spit in his face.